guys, so I was going to do today's video with a mask on, but cameraman said not to, so I decided not to wear a mask today, but like a face mask to cover my face. I apologize for missing yesterday's video. Obviously, I had something done to my face, my eyebrows. I have a friend, she's my hairstylist, and she also has been doing eyebrows. And I had what was called an ombre or a powder brow tattoo on my eyebrows. She did it Monday evening, and I looked in the mirror Tuesday all the time. I just kept thinking, God, it doesn't look like me. I just don't like it. It's so dark. It almost looks black, and my hair color is naturally like light brown. And anyway, so I panicked all day Tuesday, and then yesterday morning, I started looking for options as to what to do. And I looked at, there's a Reddit thread about microblading and tattoo eyebrows, things like that, permanent makeup. And I found out there's something called an emergency removal process, but you have to do it within the first 48 hours after the tattoo is done. So that's what I spent yesterday doing, was the emergency removal process. And they're still really dark, and I just don't like them. And I feel like some of the coloring just isn't quite in the eyebrows. And apparently there's something called like an eyebrow shock, like you're shocked. And I looked through this microblading Reddit thread, and I will say about half the posts are people like, oh my God, what did I do? And I look at them and they look great. And they're like freaking out like, no, it looks terrible. And everyone else is commenting like, you look great. But obviously I still have the eyebrow shock. So I did that emergency removal process. And apparently over the next like 2 weeks, they're supposed to really lighten because of that process. So hopefully they really do. Because even if they just lightened like 50%, even like just 30%, I think I'd be happy. But anyway, so that's why I didn't have a video yesterday. I've been walking around with a hat on, sunglasses on everywhere I go. And I'm sure maybe a lot of you will think, oh, it doesn't look that bad. But I mean, close up when I look at it, it's shocking. So before you ever do any of that stuff, read more about it. Don't be so trusting. In Minnesota, you have to have at least 200 hours of an apprenticeship underneath somebody else. And in Wisconsin, there isn't that law. So I don't even know if it's regulated in Wisconsin, to be honest. Like in Minnesota, there's a lot of requirements and things like that. In Wisconsin, I don't think it's the same. But I could be wrong. I don't even think she did a bad job. I think I should have just been more clear about it. I didn't want them super dark. And they always say they fade and lighten up over the time after you've had it done, and hopefully they will. And hopefully the emergency removal lightening process will help. Because they did, I mean, even during that removal process, they did pull a ton of pigment out. So it is still much lighter than it was like 2 days ago. But anyway, I'm not an expert on it. I just want to say, before you do anything messing with your face, really think about it. And, you know, my friend had it done with her as well. And her eyebrows look fantastic. They look wonderful. If hers came out looking like a mess, I wouldn't have done it. And I still look at her pictures and her eyebrows, and they look great. And I just look at mine, and I'm just like, something went wrong here. And it could be in my head, but I don't necessarily think it is. I think it's way too dark, and I hope they will lighten. They're supposed to lighten anyway. Hopefully the emergency removal process will lighten them. It's interesting, the emergency removal process, they just kind of put saline solution on a damp cloth, and they let it sit over your face for like 20 minutes, and then they go through with a eyebrow spoolie thing, and then they go through and kind of go through and see what on the surface they can get out, and then as it heals and scabs over, the scab should absorb the dye, a lot of it, and then once the scabs fall off, a lot of the dye goes with them, and they're supposed to lighten. If not, there's lasers you can do, and that stuff starts to get like a lot of really expensive fast. So I just shouldn't have done it at all, because I just don't think I was clear about my expectations. And yeah, I don't know. It's not her fault at all. I think it's just me. But anyway, that's okay, because I'm crazy anyway. So, just want to do a video about that. Anyway, coming up, I've got the new skincare from this year that I really loved, as well as the new skincare products from this year that I really hated. So, stay tuned for that the next day. And anyway, I'm interested if any of you guys done any of this and had the same experience and like, oh my God, what have I done? You know what? It could have been worse. At least it wasn't like plastic surgery or something, you know, like that could have been worse, right? I mean, I don't think it looks bad. Yeah, anyway, when I look at it close up, to me, it just doesn't look great. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, there's my story. I'm sticking to it. and I will see you guys more later. Okay, thanks so much for listening to my ramble. Yeah, anyway. Okay, bye guys.